Okay, yeah, the Miami Heat are in trouble. The Boston Celtics have now won back-to-back games in this series, stealing one on the road and taking care of business at home. Both of these games were blowouts, with the margin of victory being over 15 points. Over these last two games, a lot of things have went right for the Boston Celtics, and a lot of things have went wrong for the Miami Heat. Talking first about Game 4, the Miami Heat led at halftime, but in the second half, things got ugly. They were outscored 66-43 in this game, and there might be a lot of blame to throw around. The biggest thing for me from this game was Jimmy Butler's play. In the first half, he didn't really do too much. He was just 3 for 7 from the field, only had 9 points, as I believe he looked more to get other teammates involved rather than looking for his own shots. I don't know if I like that idea if I'm Jimmy Butler. The second half, he was able to turn it up. He had 20 points in the last 2 quarters of the game, but ultimately he was a negative 20 plus minus, and those 20 points didn't really amount to anything. Aside from Jimmy Butler in this game, the biggest talking point was Bam Adebayo's poor play. In the second half of this game, playing 17 minutes, Bam Adebayo had 0 points. He only took 1 field goal, had 3 turnovers, and just 2 rebounds. Bam Adebayo quite literally disappeared, and being the second option for this team, you're going to need to step up. Bam Adebayo is notorious for disappearing in the playoffs, and it could not have come at a worse time for the Miami Heat. And now the biggest talking point of this game for the Miami Heat side was Gabe Vincent's injury. With Tyler Hero going down with injury and Victor Oladipo's injury soon following, that left Gabe Vincent as one of the only guard options on this team. So far, he's been up to the task, and up until this point, he's been killing it in the playoffs. He has been a much needed scoring boost for this Miami team and was one of the main reasons as to why this team went up 3-0. But in the second half of Game 4, he sustained an ankle injury that kept him out of Game 5, and now his status is up in the air for Game 6 and potentially Game 7. But the Boston Celtics deserve some love. In Game 4, it was mainly about Jason Tatum. 25 of his 33 points came in the second half, shooting 11 of 15 from the field and 3 of 5 from 3. Marcus Smart woke up in the second half. Grant Williams had success when his name was called upon, and all of that put together was more than enough for the Boston Celtics to have a commanding win. Now we look to Game 5, and from start to finish, it was all about the Boston Celtics. Marcus Smart and Derek White started out hot, and it was all the Celtics really needed. Combined, they pitched in 47 points. Al Horford was all over the place, grabbing 5 offensive rebounds and dishing out 5 assists. Jason Tatum had a near triple-double. Jaylen Brown was efficient from the field, and it was a sprinkle of Grant Williams and Robert Williams that provided help when needed. From the Miami Heat side, it wasn't so good. Jimmy Butler had just 14 points and did not look aggressive at all. Bam Adebayo had 6 turnovers, and as a center, that's bad. The team called upon Kyle Lowry with Gabe Vincent's injury, and he couldn't provide much on offense. But the biggest bright spot for the Miami Heat in this game was probably Duncan Robinson. 18 points and 9 assists off the bench, but obviously it was not enough for the Miami Heat to come away with the victory. So what has changed? Well, the Boston Celtics have finally learned to play defense again. The Boston Celtics are making it really tough on Jimmy Butler, and Game 4 was a big testament to that. The first clip you see here, Jaylen Brown does a great job of sealing off Jimmy Butler. Jaylen Brown pushes Jimmy Butler all the way to the sideline and forces a tough pass, turnover. Once again, Jimmy Butler's path to the rim is sealed off. Malcolm Brogdon does a great job at this, forces a pump fake, and Robert Williams comes for the cleanup. In this next clip right here, Jimmy Butler goes up for a tough shot, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Celtics in the vicinity. And the last play I want to show, Jaylen Brown forces Jimmy Butler all the way a couple feet back from the 3-point line, is right there every step of the way to the rim, doesn't bite on the pump fake, and gets a great contest on the shot. Jimmy Butler is a very tough shot maker, but even the toughest of shot makers can only make so many tough shots. Now, the series is headed back to Miami in a huge Game 6. Gabe Vincent's status is still up in the air. With all things considered, I believe he's going to play. Will the Miami Heat make the necessary adjustments, bounce back from these 2 losses, and finish off the series? Or the Boston Celtics reign supreme once again, get a huge win on the road, force a Game 7, and ultimately beat the Miami Heat again in the TD Garden? Only time will tell. So let's see how Jimmy and company will respond.